In 1987, Michael Jackson did something no artist has matched in nearly 4 decades. He scored 5 #1 singles from a single album. But that was not even his most dominant Billboard moment. Before that, Thriller held #1 for 37 straight weeks. Earlier still, he was breaking records when he was 11 years old. How one artist kept rewriting what was possible, that story begins earlier than you would think. December 1969. The Jackson 5's first single, I Want You Back, rockets into the Billboard Hot 100 Top 10. Michael is just 11 years old, barely tall enough to reach the studio microphone, but already rewriting the rules. Motown's team, led by Berry Gordy, is not leaving anything to chance. They send out a memo, launch a coast-to-coast radio blitz, and push the single onto every major station. The song climbs fast from a debut at number 90 in November to number 8 by the end of December. This is not just a hit, it is the youngest voice ever to break into the top 10, powered by Motown's relentless quality control machine. The Billboard charts in the late 60s run on a mix of sales and airplay, so every spin, every record sold counts. By the time the decade ends, Michael is already charting his own path, one that no one else his age had ever walked. Just 3 years after turning the Jackson 5 into household names, Michael steps out front, alone. In September 1972, Ben slides quietly onto the airwaves. It is a ballad about a boy and his pet rat, but the real story is what happens on the charts. Week by week, the song climbs. Then, on the Hot 100 dated September 23, 1972, Michael Jackson does what no Jackson sibling had done solo. He lands at #1. He is just 13, already the youngest solo artist to top the chart in the early 70s. Motown is not shy about their strategy. They push Ben with a wave of radio spots and a coupon campaign tied to the film's release. The song gets prime exposure on adult contemporary stations, reaching listeners far beyond teen pop. For the first time, Michael's voice stands alone, and the charts answer back. The world sees not just a child star, but a solo force ready for more. In 1979, Michael Jackson wasn't just making a comeback. He was rewriting the rulebook. With Off the Wall, he and producer Quincy Jones set out to prove that a solo artist could dominate the charts with the same force as any group. The plan was to release a string of singles, each with its own shot at the top. Epic Records staggered the rollout, keeping the album in the spotlight for months. First came Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, an explosive dance track that shot to #1 on the Hot 100. Then Rock With You followed, smooth as silk, and it hit #1 too. But Michael wasn't finished. The title track, Off the Wall, climbed all the way to number 10, and She's Out of My Life rounded out the run at number 10 as well. Our top 10 hits, all from the same solo album, something no one had pulled off before. Quincy's fingerprints were everywhere, from single sequencing to the lush production. Each release was timed for maximum impact, stretching the album's life on the charts and raising the bar for what a pop album could do. The message was clear. Michael Jackson had arrived as a solo superstar, and the music industry would never be the same. Before the digital age, the Billboard charts ran on a system that was part science, part trust fall. Every week, record stores across the country filled out sales surveys by hand, sometimes over the phone, sometimes on a slip of paper. Meanwhile, radio stations submitted their playlists, listing which songs got the most spins. Billboard combined these reports, weighing both sales and airplay, to build the Hot 100 and the Billboard 200. The process was anything but automated. A hit could get a boost if a store overestimated sales or if a DJ favored a label's latest single. There were no barcodes, no digital receipts, just stacks of reports and a lot of faith in honest counting. This old-school formula shaped every chart run before 1991. When a record broke through, it meant it had conquered the country one store, one radio spin at a time. But the numbers weren't always airtight. That would change with the arrival of SoundScan, when barcodes and scanners started tracking every sale in real time. Until then, every milestone, every record Michael Jackson set was tallied the analog way. with all the quirks and uncertainties that came with it. Then Thriller came along and basically broke everything. When Michael Jackson dropped Thriller in November 1982, the music world had never seen anything like it. The album didn't just top the Billboard 200, it camped out there. For 37 straight weeks, from late 1982 into the summer of 1983, Thriller refused to budge from number 1. That's more than 8 months at the top, outlasting every challenger and every hot new release. No pop album had ever pulled off a run like that. Even industry veterans were stunned. But the numbers only tell half the story. Thriller spun off hit after hit. 7 different songs from one album crashed into the Hot 100's top 10. That list reads like a greatest hits collection. The Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney, Billie Jean, Beat It, Wanna Be Startin' Something, Human Nature, PYT, and the title track, Thriller. Each single seemed to catch fire on its own. Billie Jean didn't just hit number 1, it held the spot for 7 weeks in a row, a record for a solo male artist at the time. And then there was MTV. When the Billie Jean video landed in heavy rotation, the network's phones lit up. Suddenly, a black pop star was front and center on a channel that had barely played black artists before. Epic Records poured $1 million into the Thriller video, betting big on a short film with zombies, dance moves, and a red leather jacket that would become iconic overnight. The gamble paid off. The video didn't just boost album sales, it turned Thriller into a global event. Music historian Fred Bronson put it this way: Thriller didn't just dominate the charts, it changed the entire game. Every artist, every label, every radio station had to rethink what was possible. By the end of its run, Thriller had set a new standard for what an album could do. 7 top 10 singles, 37 weeks at number 1, and a ripple effect that forced the entire industry to catch up. No one had ever rewritten the Billboard record book so completely, so quickly. The pop world would spend the rest of the decade chasing Michael's shadow. Bad wasn't just another blockbuster, it was Michael Jackson taking aim at a record no one had even imagined. From the jump, the plan was relentless. Keep the spotlight moving, keep the singles coming, and make every release an event. The result? 5 different songs from Bad Shot straight to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, each one landing like a thunderclap. First up was I Just Can't Stop Loving You, a duet with Sina Garrett. It hit number 1 in September 1987, just as the Bad World Tour was kicking off in Japan. Then came the title track, Bad, with its video directed by Martin Scorsese and a Pepsi campaign that blanketed television screens. By October, it was sitting at the top of the charts. But Michael didn't let up. The Way You Make Me Feel dropped in November, riding a wave of MTV airplay and live performances. It climbed to number 1 in January 1988, perfectly timed with the tour's arrival in the United States. Just a few months later, Man in the Mirror, fueled by a powerful video and a surge of radio support, took its turn at number 1 in April 1988. And as the tour pushed into Europe that summer, Dirty Diana stormed the charts, hitting number 1 in July 1988. 5 number 1 singles, all from one album. No solo artist had ever pulled that off. Not Elvis, not the Beatles, not Madonna. As of 2026, the record still stands. Epic's strategy was ruthless. Every single was tied to a major moment, a tour stop or a video premiere. Pepsi signed on for a worldwide ad blitz, and each new release kept Bad in the headlines for nearly 2 years. Every time a single reached the top, the campaign shifted gears. New video, new city, new push. The result was a chart run that felt unstoppable. A high-wire act that no one's matched since. This was more than just hits. It was Michael Jackson, the master strategist, turning the Billboard charts into his own personal playground. Decades later, those chart records still tower over the music world. Streaming has changed the game, but nobody's rewritten Michael's rulebook. His milestones aren't just history, they're the measuring stick. In pop, the bar still reads, beat that. Drop your thoughts below. How close will anyone ever come?